Hello, everybody. Welcome along. My name is Benjamin Bloom. This is the Benjamin Bloom Football Channel. Please leave your bias at the door and join us. It's Monday, so you need to join us for Championship review and reaction round 36. I've been saying this for weeks now. 10 games to go equals the business end of the season, whatever you want to call it, and things really shaking out in the Championship. And I think the subtitle of this show for this round needs to be just getting the job done. And we have seen a lot of teams just in churn grind mode, just getting those wins as we come up to the vital part of the season where the context becomes magnified each game. And we have, we may not have a title race, but we certainly have a really great race shaping up for second place and down at the bottom of the table. Let me know if you can see me, hear me loudly and clearly. Get your comments in. We'll go game by game. I've got the running order down at the bottom there, as ever. We'll go from the top of the division all the way down to the bottom. Try and keep your comments focused on the game that we are talking about. We'll do team of the week at the end. We'll do goal of the week at the end as well. And please say hello in the comments. Let me know that you are here. Before we go any further, let's say a big thank you to our friend Russ, a fan and now a friend despite Ben's terrible taste in football teams. He is our fan sponsor for the show. And if you look along the bottom, he has helped out over on Patreon. You can do the same exclusive shows there. Tomorrow, we get the next episode of Classics Reviewed on Patreon exclusive. If you are on YouTube, please hit the like button, subscribe, ring the bell, blah, blah, blah. And you can super chat at any point during the show. First super chatter becomes king of the bin. And we need to say thank you to Anthony. I think that's 2 review shows running. Thank you very much, Anthony. A $4.99 every time Barnsley wins. He sends me a super chat. So we've been doing all right recently. So thank you, Anthony. Once again, loads and loads of people in the chat. Hi to everybody. I can't click on all of those. Absolutely brilliant support for the channel at the moment. And as ever, right, should we get into this? Let's go to the split screen, and you can see this round of results. On Friday, it was Blackburn 0, Brentford 1. Saturday lunchtime, Luton 0, Swansea 1. And then the 3 p.m s, Birmingham 0, Bristol City 3. And let's just do a real-time update for anyone watching after the fact. It's 1:05, and there are rumours that Lee Bowyer may or may not have resigned at Charlton. So keep your eyes on the Birmingham Twitter, let's just say, going forward. Bournemouth 2, Barnsley 3. Cardiff 1, Watford 2. Derby 0, Millwall 1. Borough 3, Stoke 0. Forest 1, Reading 1. QPR 0, Huddersfield 1. Rotherham and Cov postponed. Wycombe 1, Preston 0. And then on Sunday, Sheffield Wednesday 1, Norwich City 2. And that is where we will begin. And let's, first of all, say a big congratulations to Norwich. Barnsley couldn't do it. 8 straight wins. Norwich have managed to do it. 8 straight wins. Very impressive stuff from Norwich. And we know that the last few teams that have done this type of streak have all been promoted. Norwich themselves in 18-19, Villa in 18-19, Cardiff in 17-18. It kind of stands to reason 8 games is quite a proportion of points, at 24 points. If you win 8 games in a row, you're going to be in fairly good nick in the table, aren't you? And Norwich just keep going and going in this one. They're going to go behind early. We'll look at the goals in a sec. But they managed to just chip away, and the quality and the finishing takes them home for that 8th consecutive win. There's the team. Krull, Aarons, Hanley, Gibson, Janulis, Skip, McLean, Buendia, Rupp, Cantwell, and Pookie up top. Wednesday, they'd had some time to work with Darren Moore, so I suppose we can kind of call it his first real game, can't we? Westwood in goal, Lees, Hutchison, Ergoheed, Palmer, Harris, Pelupesi, Bannon, Windass, Reach, and Rhodes. And it was Rhodes that scored the opening goal. Let's just say Ben Gibson looked a little bit sleepy for the first half, didn't he? And he pulls back. Who was it? Windass for the free kick. Free kick taken by Bannon, bit of pinball. Goes exactly where Jordan Rhodes wanted it to, and the Norwich defenders didn't, and he just sticks it home with the left foot. Wednesday, fairly comfortable in the first half. Norwich obviously had tons of the ball, as you can imagine, but not too much in terms of chances created. But into the second half, and in the end, the perpetual game state of just attack after attack after attack. And Sheffield Wednesday didn't do anything with the ball when they did win it back. And Norwich, in the end, you could see it coming. You knew this game was either going to end 1-0 to Wednesday or Norwich were going to win it. It was either going to be all or nothing in the end. And once they did break through, that was going to be that. And, not the most impressive we've seen Norwich, but when it mattered, their quality, which they have got across that squad, counted. Pookie slams it in the top corner there. Nice assist by Skip. And then Buendia slips this one through. That's a brilliant goal by Cantwell. Sticks it in off the crossbar. And I'm going to say it, the subtitle of this show is Get the Job Done. You might grind it out. You might get a penalty. You might get a deflected shot. Or you might just wear it down and get the goals. Or in this case, wear it down and then just a bit of quality. And that's what it was for Norwich for their 8th straight victory. The numbers have it more evenly than the game state actually sort of was. I know nigh on 60% on the possession. 2 big chances to 1 is always revealing. Nearly 600 passes for Norwich. 12 shots is actually quite a low amount for them. They normally get a few more than them, but they're just getting the job done. And let's be honest, it was runaway leaders versus relegation threatened. And not only is it an 8th straight win for Norwich, it is a 7th straight defeat for Wednesday. So it is on now for Norwich. They are projecting 100 points. And I don't see a reason why they can't do it now. 7 wins from 10 is the 21 points. And if you actually look at it on the basis of once things settled after the transfer window closed and Buendia was definitely staying and Cantwell in the team and they got through the injury, if you actually take it from that position, I'm sure their points per game is more than capable of hitting 21 in the last 10 games. Quite the feat. Let's see if they can keep the intensity up and do it. They're 10 points clear with 10 games to go and probably looking at that 100 points now, aren't they? Sheffield Wednesday, worryingly. Well, Birmingham lost. That's one thing for Wednesday. But as the weeks go by and the rounds go by, Wednesday do have 11 to play rather than 10, it should be said. But as the weeks go by, it looks more and more like League One for Sheffield Wednesday. Hey, plenty of points to go, but at the moment, you wouldn't have Sheffield Wednesday escaping on the basis of what's gone before. But hey, you never know whether Darren Moore can turn it around. Let's have a look here. Afternoon, good weekend, great weekend, James. Thank you. Kieran Dowling, yeah, Dale looked decent when he came on. Game of 2 halves. We went from clueless to glass. I liken this a little bit to the Wycombe game that Norwich played, Adam, where, look, I think Norwich conceded a fairly iffy sort of goal. 9 times out of 10, that goal doesn't happen. You clear the free kick, don't you? And away you go. But generally with Norwich, we get the same thing game after game after game. The ball is kept, constant possession, good use of the ball, up the pitch. And at this level, with the quality of player they've got, it just knocks over most teams, doesn't it? I thought we played well, says Cameron. The number 10 spot is a big problem. First world problems for Norwich here. It was kind of a problem last time with Farker, wasn't he? Ended up having to put Stieperman in there, who always makes me laugh. Funny old player, Stieperman, isn't he? In my opinion, no way Sheffield Wednesday should be in relegation zone. The quality of their players seems to be down to a lack of confidence. Maybe Darren Moore can get them on track. Yeah, owners relegate clubs, Sophie, don't they? Owners relegate clubs. Wednesday, not very good. 2 super strikes by Norwich, who are one of 8 teams to win away. Sensational. Really, the first half was probably the best they've played all season. Norwich were always going to improve in the second. Wednesday just couldn't cope with it. It's just a big gulf now. I mean, some of us have said this all season about that Norwich squad. It's very good and it's fully fit and it's clicked. And, you know, too good for the division is not really an exaggeration with that squad at the moment. Norwich needs to start working out who can make steg up next year. I have written about this in my tribal football column today, Johnny, as it pertains to Oliver Skipp, who may be of use to Norwich or Spurs next season. We'll find out. But congratulations to Norwich. You've got to, good squad or not, you've got to tip your cap to 8 straight wins. That's excellent, excellent work from them there, Canaries. And we'll keep an eye on the potential for a 100-point season. Goodness me. Right, let's talk about Watford, because it was Cardiff 1, Watford 2. And annoyingly, with the way I run these review shows, we're doing Watford first, because Watford went last, didn't they? We saw all of the 3 teams who were pushing for that second place spot go one after the other, and again, this is what we're going to talk about, get the job done. I don't think any Watford, Swansea or Brentford fans are going to talk about anybody blowing anybody away this week. Get in, get the 3 points, get out. And that's what's been happening. And it just seems like everyone's trying to get towards next Sunday, this time next week, basically, when they can have a week off. The first one in forever, because we're going to be working. But it feels like that's the reset time. And between now and then, just get through the games. And that is what everybody is doing. But they all won, didn't they? Although Watford, maybe the tightest one. Look at that. Adam Masina with a 94th minute winner to inflict good old Mick his first defeat as Cardiff boss. There are your teams for Watford. Backman, Firmino, Ekong, Sierralta, Messina. Chalobah, Hughes, Zinkernagel, Sema, João Pedro Sarr. One thing, if you're a Watford fan, you'll be thinking is, right, the team is settled. The system is settled. Can you get a trend up in performances between now and the end of the season from second place? You know that's only going to leave you in one position. That's going to be going to the Premier League, isn't it? Will they trend up now and improve now things have settled? Normally, results come after good work, don't they? The good work is done, the team starts moving, and then the points come. So Watford fans will be hoping that that is going to be the case. They're scoring plenty at the moment, I have to say. There's the Cardiff team. Phillips, Morrison, Flint, Nelson, NG, Wright, Brown down the left, no Bennett, Rules, Volks, Wilson, Murphy and Moore. And Cardiff take the lead in this one. So fair play to Watford, who, like Norwich actually, come from behind. There's the cross in from the left, I think, from Murphy. And Sierralta's got to play that because look at big Kiefer Moore lurking in behind. He sticks it into his own net. This is a brilliant goal, an absolutely brilliant goal by Nat Chalobah. Doesn't do it justice. You can see the amount of bodies in the way. He's going to find the keeper's right-hand side. But the footwork before this, a superb goal. You won't see many. A quite unique sort of goal as well. Kind of dancing feet, drag back, make space in the corner. Great goal by Chalobah for 1-1. And here it is. And let's call a spade here. It was terrible goalkeeping, wasn't it? So Smithies in goal. No, it's not Smithies, it's Phillips. Sorry, Phillips in goal. Just gets in a muddle. I think he's expecting the cross to go in. I don't know who that Cardiff is. It Morrison at the back? Who the Cardiff player is and why they're... It looks like they've panicked, the defender there who's got the line back so far. Looks like they're heading for the far post to block the shot. If that's the case, then I don't know why Phillips, maybe that was the plan and Phillips was going to move over. He kind of moves too far past the ball. It goes into the middle of the goal and he paws at it and it's in the net for a 94th minute winner from Watford. And you've got to love the celebrations, I have to say. It's Messina who puts the goal in. The whole bench is off, all of the staff. A big goal for Watford. Great stuff for them. And if we look at the numbers, no big chances in the game. So I think we can definitely say a late goal and a tight win. And they're still in there. They're churning it out. They're in second place. Obviously, the elephant in the room is the Swansea game in hand and also a Brentford game in hand, although the Swansea game in hand means more because they're 3 points ahead in the table. But as things stand, Watford are in second and they are winning. Look at that, 12 points in the last 5 games is better than, well, everyone else other than Norwich. Well, Barnsley as well in 6th. But we'll talk about Barnsley in just a hot minute. But Watford are doing it. And the away form now, look at that. We said when Xisco arrived, if they can get the away form anywhere near reasonable and keep the home form anywhere near it is, they'll go up because they've got 41 points at home, haven't they? And the away form is now the 8th best in the division and they are winning games and in second place. And there's an argument to say that of those teams in the chase, you could get a Swansea regression to the mean where they go back up to the sort of eye test for the performances. Will Brentford match anywhere near that 21-game undefeated streak? It's a bit of an argument to say Watford have got the biggest upside in terms of extra gears to go into. So who knows? But I'm going to make many predictions and assumptions between now and the end of the season. Some of them will be wrong. Cardiff, bad day. Really, really bad day. I almost feel a bit sorry for Mick here. He draws a couple of games, was undefeated in 10. All of a sudden, he hadn't reckoned on Barnsley, had he? And he loses this one. And all of a sudden, Barnsley have just gone into intergalactic overdrive. And Cardiff are 7 points off the playoffs. They were in there, weren't they, a few games ago? But look, as we'll say many times, nobody could have reckoned what Barnsley were going to do. And that's left Cardiff and Mick a little bit short. Watford away at Rotherham next. Interesting. There's going to be some interesting matchups here. This week, I'm mostly thinking Watford will finish second. You're allowed to change your mind, Mr. E, every week. I certainly do. Literally, all the keeper had to do is stand up and would have saved it. Easy to say. Will Mick go back to Smithies now? I have a funny feeling he might do. Anything else in here? If a player has man at the end of their name, Ben makes him sound like a superhero. Backman, Lookman, Woodman, you got to love it, haven't you? Great resilience from the Hornets against Cardiff's physicality. Celebrated in style with a strong unity. You like to see that. There can often be a belief that last-minute goals are a bit fluky or lucky. A goal in the 93rd minute is just as well deserved in a goal in the 2nd minute. Yeah, I look for patterns, James, especially when you get a few in a row, don't you? So, David, love watching your channel. Always fair. Thank you very much. Barnsley fan. We talk about Barnsley in a minute. Swansea play Watford soon, don't they? Fortunately not, Shane. They play Watford on the last day of the season. Oh, my goodness me. This is going to be good. This is going to be really good, isn't it? You got to love it. You've got to love the championship. Right, let's move on. And we talk about the Swans, who are, and I'll go back to the subtitle of this show, getting the job done. They've not looked that convincing for a few weeks now, Swansea, but they keep winning. They keep winning and doing the job, and everybody's knackered and everybody's, imagine the travelator at the end of Gladiators just clawing for the finish line now. Again, the players will enjoy the week off, won't they, after this weekend? Still another 2 games. I mean, you can get 6-point swing between now and then, couldn't you? So anyway, it was Luton 0, Swansea 1, and in more similar to Brentford, who we'll talk about in a minute, Swansea get the goal and just got the win, didn't they? That's what you need to do. And I mean, if you look at the numbers in this one, Luton will feel that they may well have got something, from this game, but they didn't. And Swansea keep getting the job done, don't they? Impressive stuff. There are the team: Sluger in goal for Luton, Pearson, Naismith, Potts, Bree and Clark, Dewsbury Hall, Tunnicliffe and Panzu, Cornick, Adebayo. And Swansea, one thing they are doing well, which looks really smart from Steve Cooper, is the rotation out of all of those top teams. They're, it's a different look in the back three a lot of the times, the midfield. Well, look, we talk about it. So Woodman in goal, Norton, Bennett comes in, Latibodio comes in, so Cabango can have a rest. Manning and Roberts, so Bidwell's not there. Grimes, Smith, so Fulton is not there. Dander, Hurahan, Ayew, so Lowe is not there. So he's trying his damnedest, Cooper. Looks like he's got everybody singing off the same hymn sheet to just flip players in and out. I bet when there's a big game, and we talk about that Watford game, I think we know the players who are going to play in the big games, don't we? But they've just got to get through and clean sheets and wins, and they're getting clean sheets and wins. Here's the goal. Hurahan, who's been a great signing, hasn't he, for the Swans. If I can get past all of the... Have I even got the goal? Is that it? Is that the Luton Stadium? There it is. So it was Dander getting down the channel and knocking it back for Hurahan, who puts in... He's got 3, 4, 5 goals now since he's arrived. They need to get the goals from somewhere, Swansea, in the absence of a number 9, essentially. But, hey, they get the goals from where they need to get the goals. And if we look at the league table, I retweeted something earlier. In the last 46 games, Swansea have scored 88 points. We all know my 10-year averages, don't we? 85 over a 46-game season gets you promoted on average over the past 10 years, doesn't it? So Swansea have been at it for a long time in terms of winning, a whole season of winning. But we all know it doesn't matter what 46 sample you take. It's all about what you do in the season. And unfortunately, they've got Watford and Brentford chasing them here. But look, 69 points, 10 in the last 4. There is a sense that Swansea are clawing their way through this. And there's been points in the season where they've looked a lot more convincing. But as I've said for weeks with Swansea now, one of two things will happen. Either the performances will raise back up to where they were and they'll look more comfortable, or the results will stop coming. It's that binary if things stay as, as they appear to be at the moment. So they're in third, and the game in hand could be absolutely vital, couldn't it? Essentially, you need to get either ahead on goal difference or, look at the goal difference as well. 48-25 plays 45-25 with Brentford scoring way more than everybody. But exciting stuff. Luton stick on 44, back-to-back defeats for them. But if we look downwards, Coventry obviously didn't play. I know you can see a win in their column there, but that was a week ago, wasn't it? Or it wasn't midweek, it was a week ago, wasn't it? And Birmingham not winning, Rotherham not playing. So they are 12 points above the drop zone and looking fairly safe. Let's have a look. Here was Brian saying, did the best we could with what we have, played well. Apart from our finishing, we're doing okay. I agree with that. Luton, the better side. I've been saying this for weeks. You say grind, I say torture. You got to grind it out. Swansea will come unstuck soon the way they're playing. Yep, that was the point I was just making, Chris. Either the performances will come back up to where they were, or they'll come unstuck, weren't they? Luton was the better team, couldn't finish their opportunities. Twice this season, Swansea have beaten us despite being outplayed. So it's a good game, either good game management on one side or bad on the other. But hey, far be it for me to criticise Luton. I think they've done great, haven't they? Reading had a season like Swansea's under Stam. got to the playoffs by winning lots of games that could have gone the other way. Sean says missed Lockyer and Bradley didn't defend badly, did they? Sean, it, like a few people have pointed out, seemed to be the other end where the issues may possibly have been. Right, let's talk Brentford. So this is the third of our teams in the chase for second place. And again, very much like Swansea, Brentford go away, score in the first 10 minutes, stick in there, get the job done, get the win, get the 3 points, get on the bus. That's what they've managed to do. An early penalty for Ivan Toney in this one. Raya in goal for the Bees. Oh, sofa school. Why would you do that right now when I'm reading the team? Always the way. Dalsgaard, Reed, who seems in now, doesn't he? Pinnock and Sørensen. So without Janssen and Henry at the back. Jensen, Norgard, he improves them, doesn't he? And Janel. And Buemo, Tony and Fosu up top. Blackburn, Kaminsky, Nyambi, Douglas, Harwood, Bellis and Lenihan centre backs. Oh, Dak. Oh, what a shame. So Dak, another horrible knee injury. Good luck to him. That must be awful. 2 in 2 seasons. That's shocking. Good player as well. Tribal, Buckley, Brereton, Dolan and Gallagher. If anyone saw my penalty rant the other day, they'll understand why I'm not going to go too deep into penalties. I just do not have the energy. So here is a penalty that was given. It's Lenihan on Fosu. That's all you're going to get from me on that one. And up steps Tony and sticks it in to the corner. And that was enough. 1 goal, get the job done. And Brentford did. And very similar sort of to Swansea. I mean, the Swansea game looked a bit tighter on the numbers. Looked 2 big chances to 0, 13 shots to 10, 4-3 on target for Rovers and some possession, but get the job done. And that's what Brentford did. Remember those numbers, especially in games where there's a goal early on and the supposedly superior team has to defend the goal. Often we do get what look like skewed numbers, but we can never, never take into account game state into the numbers and the fact that a team may be happy not to have the ball when they're 1-0 up. And there you go. A third win in 4 for Brentford. Again, like Swansea, don't look that convincing at the moment. Certainly not when we were looking at the 21-game undefeated streak and they went top of the league before Norwich went and won 8 on the bounce. They look more convincing there. But they're in there, aren't they? They're 3 points off second. They're a good side. I think they're missing Henry for a bit of balance. De Silva, Janssen, etc. But God knows how this is going to go. Would it be playoffs again for Brentford? We'll see who comes strong in the run-in. Blackburn just don't win many games over the last couple of months, do they? Maybe they've been a little bit unlucky to face Swansea and Brentford, and who both just did the job, didn't they, in those 2 games? Rovers stick in 14th. They are heading for the beach fairly early, I think. What else are we saying here? I hope Dak is... It's awful, isn't it, with Dak? Clear. Ramp was excellent. Chris, I'm not reading that. Raya is in a moment. Yeah, devastated for Dak. Horrible. Yeah, absolutely horrible, isn't it? Right, I'm not getting into penalties. Can't be bothered. And there we go. So let's move on. That is our league leaders, our runaway leaders who are going to win the title. Let's be frank about it. And our chasing 3. And then we get into the playoff picture where we have Reading first up, who drew 1-1 at Forest, which I believe I predicted. Far be it for me to bask in the glory of a prediction that I got correct when I get so many wrong. But I will. So it was Forest 1, Reading 1. And Reading at one stage had a few teams chasing them, but they'll be quite pleased that Barnsley seem to have pushed the others back. Reading stay in 5th. There are the teams. They will go Reading first. Raphael, Yidam, Holmes, Moore, Richards, still named Morrison, Semedo, McIntyre, Laurent, Elise, Zhao, and Puskas. And you'll see coming off the bench to score Yaku Maite. Good news there. Still no Ejaria, Swift, Morrison, as I mentioned as well. There's your Forest team. Samba, Christie, Figueiredo, McKenna, Bong, Cafu, Garner, Lolly, Kravinovic, Amiobi, and Murray. Let's have a look at the goals in this one. And the normally excellent Omar Richards has a bit of an issue here. Gets done by Amiobi. And you can see that's Holmes and Murray. And it's quite the own goal, isn't it? Holmes doesn't trickle into net. He smashes that into his own net, trying to stop wily old Glenn Murray in there. 1-0 to Forest. And I don't know if Breeze Samba has the sun in his eyes here, but this goes right through him. Maite, who is one of the best exponents of exploiting his power, real direct player. And this was a classic Maite goal, wasn't it? But it's not the best goalkeeping by Samba. And I think Gaetan Bong has a good yell at him after this, saying, why are you not saving that? But Maite, he's very effective, isn't he? Very effective player. And I think Reading have missed him a little bit, haven't they? But hey, that's the story of Reading's challenge. They've had a lot of players, key players as well, injured. Kudos to Reading. They are still in there. They had 10 points from 4. Impressive stuff. They're up to 61 with 10 to go. 1.5 points per game leaves Reading on 76, doesn't it? They would be terribly unfortunate to not get in the playoffs with 76. So you'd think a competent end to the season, hopefully get some of the injured guys back, and they're in the playoffs, wouldn't you? But hey, we've seen incompetence and we've seen great runs from chasers before. Forest, 41. I think there's enough teams who are not as good as them below them for it not to be a severe issue. But still, they need some more points. We're looking at points parity, aren't we? And 45 to survive over the last 10 years. So only looks like Forest need a couple more wins, doesn't it? That takes them to 47 across those 10 games. But it's a not good run after a pretty long good run for Forest. Let's have a look at your comments on that one. Surprisingly open game. Reading should have won. Yeah, and Puskas missed Sitters. Yard hit the post. Forest had their moments, though, to be fair. Missing Rinamoto. I didn't mention him, did I, Max? Good point. Tad unlucky, but I'm liking the new shape. Good point. Own goals. Now our joint top scorer with Lyle Taylor. Yeah, that says a lot, doesn't it? Reading had the better chances, says Matt. Goal we conceded was poor, though. Samba should be saving those. Agreed. Poor keeping for the Reading goal. Should have done better straight through him. Agreed. Reading should have won. No clue how they were so dominant going forward, but terrible in front of goal, given Zhao and Puskas aren't bad options. I think we are all good. Let's just read that one from Lewis. Reading still have to play Norwich, Watford, Swansea, Barnsley, and Cardiff. Eek. Eek. Anyway, let's talk about Barnsley. Now, I've got to hold my hands up here. It was Bournemouth 2, Barnsley 3. And honestly, I thought after midweek against Derby, they didn't get the 8th straight win. The game was really bad. Teams are coming to stop Barnsley now. They're going to run out of steam. The fairy tale is over. And then they go 2-1 down in this game. And I'm like, oh, the fairy tale's over. And then 30 minutes later, they've won again. Tremendous stuff from Barnsley. Absolutely tremendous. 8 wins in 9 games. A ludicrous run of form and a key victory. Use whatever football hyperbole you want. A massive victory over Bournemouth here. Brilliant stuff. There are your teams. Collins in goal. Civic, Hellick, Anderson. Britton and Williams. So they did it without Callum Stiles starting. Mowat and Palmer, Freezer, Woodrow, Chaplin. For Bournemouth, Begovic, Smith, Kelly, Cook, Carter, Vickers, Pearson, Lerma, Danjuma, who's playing really well again now, isn't he? Solanke, Stanislas, and Long. Be interested to see Solanke's heat map, whether he is a number 10 there or whether that is 4-4 effing 2, in the words of Mike Bassett, England manager. Here are the goals. Set plays, Bournemouth. Come on, what are you doing? Hellick on the back post. Hellick's scored loads of goals now recently, hasn't he? Definitely 3 or 4 from him from set plays. A bit blurry, but sticks in at the back post off the flick. This is a great goal. This is Danjuma's goal. You can see him putting it in there, but go and watch this one because Begovic throws it from the 6-yard box all the way to halfway. Good play by Stanislas, touch and finish. Really good counter-attack goal by Bournemouth. And there is Dom Solanke proving that the Barnsley press, if you can get in the corners and into the channels behind them, there's something there because that came in down the left. Easier said than done playing against Barnsley at the moment, though, isn't it? And back they come. Good finish that by Freezer. Cushion left foot into the far corner. I mean, the cross took a deflection as well, so he read it really well. Great header this as well. Is that Carter Vickers jumping with? Yeah, I think it is jumping with Carlton Morris, and he puts that right in the top corner, doesn't he? And the comeback win, the 8th win in 9, and Barnsley win 3-2. Tight game, but it still had a load of shots. 6 on target as well. Only the one big chance, but Barnsley, they're just doing the job, aren't they? And we were watching this during the Super Stream. Obviously, when Bournemouth were leading, that was 6 points difference, wasn't it? It was 59 and 58, and Barnsley were outside the playoffs, weren't they? But it swung back around, and that is now a 5 points gap between Barnsley and Bournemouth with 10 games to go. And good news for Barnsley as well was the defeat for Cardiff. So they're at 61, and I'll say exactly what I said about Reading. You get 15 points in the last 10 games, puts them on 76. That would mean Bournemouth would need 20 points, so 2 points per game for the last 10 games. Don't see that happening. Sorry, Bournemouth fans. That'd be a hell of it. They deserved the playoffs as they did it, Bournemouth. And Cardiff as well would then need 22 points. And I know Mick's done a run vaguely similar to that, but they're going to go again and do it all over again. So Barnsley now, similarly to Reading, just 1.5 points per game now. So that's 4 points every 3. No, it's 1.66, isn't it? 1.5, 3 points every 2 games, isn't it? Win one, lose one, win one, lose one, whatever you want to look at it. But it's on for Barnsley. I said for a while about Barnsley, well, people were getting excited. Well, look, get there first, and then start looking at it. They're there, and they're clear as well. So brilliant stuff from Barnsley. Let's have a look here. What are we saying here? Let's start here. Barnsley fans have been riding the hype train. I'm riding the hype train as well, and I can't blame them. What season they're having as a neutral, it's hard to leave their bias at the door when we have such an underdog story. Sensational, isn't it? Brilliant game this. Second half from Barnsley. Once again, Big Val does the business at half time. Anyone who tells me I'm wrong about a prediction, again, I challenge you every Tuesday. Come and make your predictions because I bet you know better than me. I bet you're not. But no, happy to admit I'm wrong. I thought Bournemouth would win this game. Yeah, absolutely. But as I say, come to the prediction show every week. And it's only Chris that actually records his. Yeah, mine are all recorded. And I'm happy to admit when I am incapable of predicting the future, which... I think there's about another 8 billion humans on the planet who are also incapable of predicting the future. Anyway, worry about Brentford and Watford. Well, as I say, get in there and then see what you can do. But Big Val at halftime. We spent 5 hours on a coach travelling down to Bournemouth to lose this game. Great substitutions. Great contributions from the subs. Morris, a class signing from Norwich. I've said this to Norwich fans as well. They got Jordan Hugill in there. Already had a pretty decent striker there by the looks of it, didn't they? So when you only play for 45 minutes like we do every game, you're going to struggle. And there you go. Barnsley deserved it. Absolutely. Nice self-aware football fans. Our Barnsley team, full of confidence and passion. Never stop running, never say die. Absolutely. You can't help but admire the Tykes. Absolutely. Yeah. I think we've all said that, haven't we? 6 goals for Hellick this season. 5 in the lead. Brilliant. Brilliant stuff. And George says they've got Wycombe and Wednesday this week. Yeah. So, I mean, George, don't get too overexcited. Take your 4 points. 4 points and you're laughing, honestly, because look at the totals that don't think about it in terms of maximising everything, but look at the totals that Cardiff and Bournemouth will have to get if you just put 4 points on there, because it's then going to be. I mean, we can do the maths real quick. So 4 points from those 2 games, and Barnsley are on 65 with 8 to go, and 65 with 8 to go, and it's really, really looking positive for them. Right, we've done Cardiff. Let's do Borough, who are sort of on the periphery of everything. And what we do know is it was Borough 3, Stoke 0, and this may have essentially ended Stoke seasons if there was outside chances of mad runs towards the end of the season. Then they're getting more and more and more outside by the minute, especially with Barnsley's run of late. And it was 3-0 in this one. Borough still kind of on the peripheries, but it's going to take something massively spectacular. Even with Warnock there, it's going to take something pretty out of the ordinary. But let's see how high either of them finish. Bettinelli, Fryhall, McNair, Bolla and Spence, Howson and Morsey, Cabano, Balassi and Akpom is your Borough team. For Stoke, Gunn in goal, Smith and Norrington Davis, fullbacks, Suter and Chester, Mikel and Allen, Brown, Powell, Clark, Fletcher, and, well, from what I've heard about this game, I think Stoke missed a load of chances and Borough scored all of theirs. But if you were watching, you'll let me know differently. Here are the goals. Set play, get in there, Grant Hall. And this is a great goal, actually, by McNair, who's playing centre-back, and he gets right up into the box on this sort of swift counter-attack. You can see Spence on the back post there saying, give me the ball. Nope, he's going to curl it in the far corner. And what a finish by Mendes Lang here. He's clear on the counter, and he just dinks that over Gunn for 3-0. And unless you're a Stoke fan, you'll find these numbers amusing here for Borough. Look at that. 39% possession, 3 shots on target, 2 big chances, 3-0 victory. Efficient, although maddening if you're Stoke with 61% possession, 16 shots as well, and 0 goals. But as you can see, to my point about the table, so Borough, 10 games to go, they got 53. And we've already said that if Reading and Barnsley are at 1.5 points per game can get to 76, then you are looking at needing 8 wins out of 10 if you are Borough. What would that be? That would be 24, would get you to 77. So you're starting to look at either a mad run by Borough or a quite substantial drop-off by Reading and Barnsley. So it looks like Borough are going to be second quartile. Let's just see how high they can get, and presumably Warnock will be quite happy to upset some other teams challenging for promotion. What are you saying here? David, to be fair to Stoke, first 20 really took the game to us, changed shape, pushed. Oh, McNair was in. Okay, I stand corrected in midfield in the end. Beg your pardon. To get around Mikel and Allen. Last goal was a sweet finish. Lovely goal, wasn't it? We won't finish in the playoffs. Some consistency. Try and push on next season. Well, remember, David, You got the right guy in the dugout for a championship promotion. Will the police get involved with Stoke because you're not allowed to be on the beach? We need a beach picture or sound effect because we're going to have our... Surely, Mr. E, within a few games, we're going to have our first on-the-beach derby between, I don't know, when Stoke play whoever, Millwall, in the middle of the table. But McNair is a centre-back who takes corners and has phenomenal technique. Should be in the Prem. He's had a great season. McNair, bear him in mind for goal of the week and your teams of the season as well. It's going to be that time soon, I guess, in the international break. Millwall get a win against Derby. It was Derby 0, Millwall 1. And am I imagining this? Do Millwall win 1-0 at Derby every season now? Have they taken over from Mick McCarthy's Ipswich in always jamming out a win up at Derby? I saw Dan from Lions TV talking about this one, saying, great win, manager got it right, but boy, was it dull. But there you go. He gets the win. Gary Rowett going back to his old club. 1 shot on target, 1-0 victory. Boom. An S-house, a smash and grab, whatever you want to call it. I distinctly remember going to Derby and Jed Wallace, low block, counter-attack, goal. I'm sure they must have won 3 in a row at Derby. Someone at Millwall fan will let me know, or Derby fan, in the chat. There's the Millwall team. Bart in goal, Hutchison, Pearce, Cooper, Romeo and Wallace. Sot Malone or Paul Gascoigne, whatever Millwall fans want to call him now, is exempt in this game, isn't he? Because he's on loan from Derby. Evans, Woods, Thompson, another ex-Derby player there. And Bennett, another one. And Wallace up top. Roos in goal for Derby. Edmondson, Mengi, Clark. Forsyth, Byrne. Shinny Knight, Waghorn, Joshviak and Kazim Richards. And yeah, Derby are just tailing off now. A bit like Forest, actually. They're destined to just finish one place apart, Derby and Forest, aren't they? Seemingly, as this season goes on. And set play. Hutchison nods that one in. I don't know, phantom corner taker there. I guess it was Jed Wallace. He's disappeared out of shot there, though, hasn't he? In it comes and Hutchison heads it in. Bennett doing a good job, just standing in Roos's eye line, and Hutchison heads it in to the corner for the winning goal. Here's the table, and I suppose Derby, so 39 from 36. Realistically, I don't think they've got, masses to worry about. I think they'll be okay, but the recent run, 2 points in the last 5 games, is pretty hopeless, and Rooney needs a couple of wins. If 45 to survive is anything to go by, he needs 2 wins in this last 10. And then, as I always say, there is no relegation chase unless you get a surge from the bottom. So the one club that hold the entire key to all of this are Rotherham, with all of their games in hand. If they don't surge, nothing happens. Everybody's safe. So we will see how that pans out. For Millwall, 49. Still lose many games, don't they? Only 9 defeats, but yeah, it just feels like a bit of a meh season. Potentially good, but we'll see how high they can get. Borough and Cardiff have got a 4-point and a 5-point lead above them, but I figure they might be on the bench soon. A triumph of Rowett ball. Yeah, right. Smith found out he's played 5 matches with a broken foot. Ouch. Joins Zahor, Leonard, Keith and Bell Mahoney on the treatment table. Forsyth out jumped Romeo 3 times in the first half for headers on goal. That doesn't sound good, does it? The sofa score graph, is it a funny one? Let's bring it up. There you go. Oh, yes. I think we call that a classic away performance, don't we? Last few years, we always lose to Millwall at home. I'm sure you have, yeah. Not sure how we lost, to be honest. We were poor, but Millwall did absolutely nothing. Nicked it off a set piece. Millwall fan from Oz. Never been so deflated after a Lions win. Nice. Derby could go down. Poor attack. Brentford next. We will see. Right, moving on. How many have we got to go here? It's ticking along the bottom, isn't it? Bristol City, who seem to be very good away from home now. And as I said at the top of the show, my phone is switched off, so it doesn't keep flashing. I don't know what's happening with Lee Bowyer, Aitor Karanka, whatever. So we could see some interesting stuff happening between now and the end of the day. But it looks like this was it for Karanka. And it's a 3-0 home defeat to Nigel Pearson and Bristol City. Etheridge in goal for Blues, Colin Pedersen, Dean Roberts, Sunjic Harper, Sanchez, Bella, Halilovic, Hogan. There's your Bristol City team. Bentley, Hunt, Sessignon, Mariappa Callas, Masengo, Lansbury, Semenyo, Wells, Palmer, and Jeju. And Nigel Pearson loves away games, doesn't he? And Antoine Semenyo loves charging down goal kicks or goalkeepers. Good goal this by Casey Palmer. Drives through and curls that nicely into the corner for the opener. Here's Semenyo doing exactly what he did against Swansea, wasn't it? Charges that down. Doesn't even need to touch this one. It just flies in the goal straight off him, 2-0. And good news for Bristol City, who, like a lot of teams, have had injury problems. O'Dowda back, and he scores for 3-0. And in the words of Kaiser Chiefs, that is the end of that, we think, for Aitor Karanka. So, Bristol City, I don't know, they're going on the beach soon. We'll find out. Middle of the table, 48 points. 15 wins is decent, same as Bournemouth and Cardiff and Borough. It's the 18 defeats, which is the same as Rotherham, which is the issue for Bristol City, who just very rarely draw, do they? Top half, get as high as they can now. Pearson, get injured players back, build team, blah, blah. You know the deal, don't you? Now, Birmingham is where it's interesting because we're expecting a new manager. It may or may not be Lee Bowyer. You will find out as we go. I'm sure people are commenting right now on it. So, the alarming number for Birmingham now is if Rotherham, who are projecting a point per game, continue to do so, and Birmingham, who are projecting less than 1 point per game, continue to do so, then ergo, Birmingham will be relegated. So we expect a change of manager because of this reasoning. Now, of course, the past doesn't often predict the future accurately, so we don't know. Rotherham could regress to below a point per game, and Birmingham can find their way over the line. Birmingham could win 3 out of the next 5 games. We don't know what's going to happen, but as it's looking and the way Birmingham are playing and with that lack of confidence, that awful home record and the slightly suspicious ownership that the Birmingham fans don't particularly appreciate very much, it does look like a troubling scene. And it also just feels like we've been here many times before now with Birmingham. I remember the guy, was it Caddis scoring at Bolton for survival, Harry Redknapp coming in for survival, and Monk came in and dragged them away. Free fall at the end of last season under Clotet as well. It just feels like a Birmingham fan joking with me on my Karanka going video saying, oh, we always win the relegation cup. Well, yeah, they do. But in the end, that house of cards may fall. Let's have a look at some of your comments on here. Nick, stop it. I got PTSD after you last mentioned the penalty. So, Lee, so many managers losing their jobs later. I hope City tie Pearson down to a longer contract. Lee, imagine being an Ipswich fan. We just got Paul Cook at the right time now with the Pompey job coming up and the Birmingham job, etc., etc. Easy, Tiger. Oh, Mr. Psycho Badger, why have you done that? Remember, we have rules on here, Mr. Psycho Badger. You're allowed to praise a player without jumping to the idea that they're the best in the league in their position. Easy mistake to make, but he's very good. But let's not, when we praise a player, all jump straight to that they're the best in the division. I think that's called exaggeration to prove a point, isn't it? John Percy tweeted saying announcement expected imminently. Well, John Percy is very trustworthy, Eli. Although we were waiting for a day and a half for the Chris Wilder announcement. This bugs me. SofaScore was saying at halftime that we had no big chances. I wouldn't let it ruin your day, Paul, honestly. SofaScore's big chance definition is quite narrow, actually. I'm sure. Go with Infogola next year if you want a little bit more meat on the bone. What's a bigger chance than Casey Palmer running through on goal? It's because it's outside of the box and there's pressure on the shooter, Paul. Don't let it ruin your day. Honestly, don't let it ruin your day. Casey Palmer looks like playing now under Patterson. Semenyo is a menace. Really confident with a strong finish. Clubs still haven't confirmed the sacking. Apparently, Dong could be going as well. An absolutely shocking article by the Mirror about farcical scenes. No good. What a difference when you have experienced manager. We've gone 24 games without a draw. Is that a record, Chris? Is that a record? Deary me, I don't know. What else have we got in here? When have you seen that happen? 2 block goals for Semenyo in consecutive games. City have scored 3 goals in each of Pearson's away. Chris, what's the record for games without a draw? I don't know. Palmer may finally be given a run in the team as the 10 line might continue. Nice. It ruined my day. You won 3-0, Paul. Don't let it ruin your day, hey? What did my boss used to say to me? Ben, don't sweat the small stuff. He used to constantly sweat the small stuff as well. What a massive hypocrite he was, but what you going to do, hey, brother? Right, finally, because there was a postponement, this is our last game. No, it's not. We've got 2 to go. Sorry. I'm all over the place. And then I've clicked on the wrong QPR game as well. What an idiot. It was QPR 0, Huddersfield 1. Big win for Huddersfield because Coventry and Rotherham didn't play. Birmingham lost. Derby lost. Wycombe won, but we'll talk about them. They're significantly further back. So big win for Huddersfield. A key weekend for them. And from what we can see, looks like they had a pretty good afternoon as well. They beat Rangers 1-0. And Rangers have been in good form recently, haven't they? Like a couple of blocks of wins and looked like they were trending up nicely. So, as usual, the Championship makes me look a buffoon with my predictions. Dieng in goal, Kakai Dickey, Barbe, Wallace and Kane, Field Johansson, Willock, Chair, Austin for Huddersfield, Schofield, Edmonds Green, Keogh, Sarr, Rowan Pippa, Bakuna, Hogg, O'Brien and Benza and Campbell. Let's be honest, Huddersfield should have beaten Cardiff, shouldn't they? I've missing a penalty with about 10 or 12 minutes to go. So, it's been a good couple of games for them, a couple of clean sheets and 4 points. Bodes really well for Carlos Corberon. Where's the goal, I hear you ask? Good goal, actually. Pippa, who's been a really good player for Huddersfield this season. He's played both sides. He's playing left wing back at the moment. Sets it for Bakuna. How's your technique? Can you hit it really hard first time towards the goal? Yes. And it flies in the corner. And when my tribal football article comes up, you'll see Bakuna is my player of the week just for his sheer usefulness at Huddersfield, playing in about 10 different positions this season. And he gets them the winning goal, Juninho. Bakuna, excuse me. And there, you'll see why it was a really important win. Derby lose, Coventry don't play, Birmingham lose, Rotherham don't play, Sheffield Wednesday lose, Forest draw, Luton lose, Preston lose, Blackburn lose. They've literally made 2 or 3 points up on everybody other than Wycombe in that bottom half. Obviously, Bristol City were in there, but jumped up. I'm talking bottom half as it stands after the fact. So 41 with 10 games to go for Huddersfield. Again, Rotherham are projecting 46 points. Birmingham slightly less. we'll see if they make their projections. But if it is 46 from Rotherham and less from Birmingham, then Huddersfield need 2 wins in 10 games, don't they? So we're starting to get very, very clear context. And there is always the possibility. Was it Burton once? Burton win 3 in 4 at the end of the season. They'd literally done nothing like that the entire season, and they win 3 games in 4. That's the only thing that could skew this massively, because obviously points at a premium down the bottom. QPR are already at 46, so they're aiming for the top half really, along with sort of Bristol City and Blackburn and Preston there on the chase. Luton. We'll see who finishes highest. Let's have a look at your comments. Records without a draw. Thank you, Paul. Someone always comes in. Birmingham, 43 games. Can you give me a date on that, Paul? That sounds excellent. Lee Bowyer's left Charlton is coming. It is coming, isn't it? Huddersfield safe, all about the bottom 5 now. Looks that way, Mel, doesn't it? Concede that Huddersfield may stay up now. Yeah, Chris, just a couple more wins. Lee Bowyer to Birmingham, it seems he said to the Charlton players he's leaving this morning. That's gathering steam. I'm sure I'll be making a Lee Bowyer video later in the day. Rangers seem to struggle to beat Wycombe midweek. Not much of a surprise. I thought they would have a couple weeks back. Very important win for us. Also deserved it, but been coming, especially after the Cardiff game. 3 unbeaten. Yeah, good little Mr. Football. Good little a good little rise up the trend up there at the right time of the season. Right, one more. Wycombe 1, Preston 0. I mean, Wycombe is still miles away at the bottom of the table, but I'll utter my normal words. I'll talk to you in 3 wins' time. Maybe they've got one of them. Who knows? Wycombe beat the wildly hard to predict Preston. Stockdale in goal. McCarthy, Knight, Tafazoli, Jacobson, Gape, Thompson, McCleary, Mametti, Horgan, Ick, Pezu up top. Preston, Iverson, Vandenberg, Huntington, Story, Hughes, Brown, Whiteman, Sinclair, Johnson, Maguire, Evans. Here's the goal. Is this offside? Have a look at that. Is Vandenberg playing Ikpezu on at the back post there? Because Ikpezu definitely in the, I suppose he's not in the goalkeeper's line of sight, but he's in the ball's line of sight, for goodness sake. If you're in the way of the ball, surely you're in the line of sight. There you go, I don't know. Tafazoli heads it in, and Wycombe get a rare win. We'll do Wycombe first. You can see them 24th. 22 defeats is the issue and a distinct lack of goals, 24 in 36 games. But they've made it count at home, haven't they? They're not quite on Luton's level with goals to points correlation in away games. So 26 points now. I mean, it's going to be a low total for Wycombe. They've got 10 to go. So they're projecting, 26 from 36? Probably another 6 points. So projecting low 30s. Unless we get another sort of back-to-back wins or something of that nature. Preston, are they going to be on the beach club soon in the middle of the table? Who knows? But 44, if all our projections at the moment are meaningful in any way, they need a win and a draw from 10 games, basically. 48 points, I'm sure, will be enough, especially with all the traffic in between them. Let's have a look at any comments on those. Blues win 7 of 10 to get to 47 points. Go on, John. Big wins at Covent, Rotherham, Blackburn, Luton and Bristol on the beach. That's what I like to see, John. Bit of the fighting spirit. But, it was always a tall ask, especially with an empty stadium. That would have helped Wycombe, wouldn't it, this season? But well done, Wycombe. Most of their defeats has been when they were the better side. Can Wycombe clinch 23rd? Who knows? It would take the morale at Sheffield Wednesday to just and the losing streak to continue. Any Preston fans on here? What's the view of Alex Neil? I wonder if Preston will be looking for a change of manager in the summer. Pass on Alex Neil. I suspect he's earned enough credit in the bank to have a crack at next season without Davis and Pearson and with some of his new players. Right, let's do this. Team of the week. Let me give you some suggestions. Just need to put one. Should we make it a rule? You're not allowed to vote for the team you support. Should we make that a rule, being everyone just votes for the team they support and it does my nut in? I'll give you some suggestions anyway. Look, freedom of speech. You can vote for who you like. Let me try and ask one more time. Please don't automatically vote for the team you support. It does make you look like that tiger mum in the school parents' evening that thinks that their daughter should always be the lead in the school play. Don't be that tiger mum. You don't want to do that. Nobody likes that tiger mum, do they? Except I'm wearing a tiger jumper as well. Right, you could vote for Brentford. They churned it out. You could vote for Swansea. You could vote for Bristol City, who keep winning away. You could vote for Barnsley, who very exciting, everybody. You could vote for Watford with the late win. Millwall with the smash and grab. You could vote for Borough, convincing win for them. You could vote for Huddersfield, which I would maybe put in my top 3 there. You could vote for Wickham. Norwich, you've got to give credit to 8 wins. I'm kind of at a short list of Norwich, Huddersfield and Barnsley, I think, for my team of the week. Remember, we've given it to Barnsley about 20 times recently, so consider Huddersfield. But, of course, make up your own mind. Bits. Norwich, as they've earned him 150 quid. Right, what are you guys saying here? Barnsley again. Yeah, it has been Barnsley often. Borough, Barnsley. I could stop here, couldn't I? Wickham, Barnsley, Norwich, Huddersfield, Barnsley, Norwich, Barnsley, 2. Barnsley, Norwich, 2 great goals. Blah, blah, let's keep going. Chair boys, Borough. Look, it's Barnsley, isn't it? It's Barnsley in the chat. Okay, right. Hold your fire on the comments. We're going to do goal of the week. And I will say again, don't be that mum who wants the kid to be the lead in the school play. Let me give you some suggestions for goal of the week. Just put the player's name up. You could go for Casey Palmer, possibly for Bristol City. You could go for Dan Juma, that brilliant counter-attack by Bournemouth. You could go for Nat Chalobah. What a goal that was for Watford with the dancing feet. You could go for Paddy McNair for Borough. That was a great goal. I think Maite's went through the keeper a little bit. You could go for Bakuna for Huddersfield. He smashed that one in. Or you go for Cantwell for Norwich. He curled that one in the top corner with the left foot. I am between Chalobah, Cantwell, and Danjuma. Danjuma was the best team move. I think I've got to go for Chalobah. It's the most unique goal. It's great finish and assist for Cantwell, but I think I've got to go for Chalobah with the dancing feet and the finish into the corner. Let's see what you guys is saying in here. I don't know why I went into Ali G type thing. Chalobah, Cantwell, Chalobah, McNair, Cantwell, Chalobah, Semenyo. Stop it. Chalobah, Cantwell. Oh, we don't have to add all day in. It's just an opinion. Cantwell, Messina. Stop it, Chris. Chalobah, Cantwell, Chalobah, Cantwell. Stop it. Chalobah from this Tiger Dad. Love it. Can I put forward Lamella? Lamella would win it easily if it was a championship goal. Should we give it a tie? They're going to share it, Todd Cantwell and Nat Chalobah. Both brilliant goals, though, weren't they? Right. Thank you, everybody. As ever, it's been an absolute joy to chat football with you. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Please hit the thumbs up button before you go. Thank you for our super chatters. There's one from Bits. There was one from Anthony at the start of the show. We will be back tomorrow at 1 p.m. To predict the midweek outcomes. Again, if you ever dare to criticise one of my predictions after the fact, You do not have the right, unless you've made one before the fact, that I can equally criticise too, because none of us can read the future. It's just a bit of fun. So come and join us tomorrow at 1 p.m. I'm going to be doing a Dearly Departed video later, although not much joy for our promoted teams in recent seasons. And we're going to look at some 10 games to go type stuff before the, hopefully before the round of games tomorrow. I'll try and do something on Watford versus Brentford versus Swansea for second place, because I'm loving that. If you would like a shout out, please put a comment in now, and I'll try and at least click on them as we're going out, if not read them. Let's say thank you to Russ, fan and now friend despite Ben's terrible taste in football teams. Thank you to Russ, who sponsors the show. Have a think about signing up on Patreon. Ring the bell, subscribe for notifications on YouTube. Blah, 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 blah. What are we saying here? Thank you to James and to Mel. Yeah, look forward to the Lee Bowyer video. It's coming. Anthony, thank you for the super chat. Sir Leeds 2021. Sean, 5 bellies. Don of the Wixham's persuasion, I think. He'll know what I mean. Hey, Don, I had Portugalis on Saturday. Tremendous stuff. Half chicken, peri. It's a bit hot, actually. I won't be in chats at 1 this week due to Cheltenham. Chris, you will be missed. If ever channel legend applied to anyone, it'd be Chris, wouldn't it? Bye, Sean. Yeah, we're waiting on Bowyer now, Stephen, aren't we? I'm competing with Cheltenham. I can't compete with Cheltenham. Look, we'll do a poll. If enough people want me to move to a different time. When does Cheltenham start? I don't know anything about horse racing. So if someone lets me know, I'll go a bit earlier or later, as and how we need to. Right. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Luke, hope Barnsley's bubble doesn't burst. Shows no sign yet, does it? And I will see you all tomorrow for the predictions, and probably in the comments for the inevitable Lee Bowyer is the new Birmingham manager video that's possibly coming up. Coverage starts at 1. First race 1:20. Okay. Shout out to Ben Moon, top creator, and coming on Swan. Yeah, go and subscribe to Swan's Cast as well. Nice. Okay, we'll have a look. Maybe I'll start at 12:30. I'll do a poll. We'll see what the consensus is. We'll give the people what they want. Right. Thank you, everybody, for watching. You're all legends, each and every one of you, and it's a big over and out from me. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button to see more videos from this channel. Hit the subscribe button, and to be notified every time we upload. Ring the bell for those notifications to come through on your device. If you really want to support the channel and me as a content creator, I will be eternally grateful if you head over to the merch store and grab something, or support over on Patreon, patreon.com/Benjamin Bloom. Thank you for your time. Go and watch another video.